Back in 2014, Bill Gates tweeted a jaw-dropping fact. China used more cement in just 3 years than the US did during the entire 20th century. Indeed, in just 3 years, China's rapid and unstoppable rise since it initiated economic reforms around 1980 is one of the most significant economic and geopolitical events of our time. Some economists have even called it the Chinese miracle. If you're wondering how China developed so fast, check out this picture of Shanghai from 1990 to 2010. In just 20 years, it transformed from a small village into one of the largest cities in the world. China's rapid growth has left many people, including economists, scratching their heads. How did a nation with 1.4 billion people transform so quickly from a struggling agricultural land into a formidable industrial powerhouse when so many smaller nations with seemingly better conditions haven't managed to do so? It's not about the size. India has a similar population but hasn't grown nearly as fast. Some might think China's growth is all about opening up its economy in the 1980s, but other countries like South Korea, Japan, and India did that too. While those reforms were crucial, they're not unique to China. Others argue it's because China became a manufacturing giant, leveraging cheap labor and globalization. But lots of developing countries have cheap labor and are part of the global economy, yet they haven't seen the same explosive growth. So what's the secret behind China's rapid development? To really understand it, we need to dive into the fundamentals of what drives an economy. It boils down to 3 core factors: investment, education, and technological progress. But before we dig deeper, consider subscribing to this channel to show your support. China has consistently been at the top when it comes to making big investments across various sectors as part of its development strategy. Since 1980, China has been pouring more than 30% of its GDP into infrastructure, healthcare, social welfare, public services, and more. While developed countries like the United States and those in Europe don't need to invest as much of their GDP compared to developing nations, China has kept up this high level of investment for decades. One of the most noticeable and impactful areas of investment in China has been its massive infrastructure projects. The government has pumped substantial resources into building and upgrading everything from high-speed rail networks and highways to modern airports and ports. For instance, China now boasts the largest high-speed rail network in the world, connecting major cities and economic zones at incredible speeds. These investments have greatly improved domestic connectivity, making it much easier and quicker for people and goods to move across the country. This improved infrastructure has also boosted international trade, as modern ports and efficient logistics systems make exporting and importing smoother and more cost-effective. But where did China get all the money for these investments? The answer lies in foreign direct investment, FDI, and state-owned enterprises, SOES. China has been highly successful in attracting FDI, which has played a crucial role in its economic transformation. The creation of special economic zones was a game changer. These zones offered tax incentives, fewer regulations, and a more business-friendly environment, making them highly attractive to foreign investors. Cities like Shenzhen, which went from being a small fishing village to a bustling metropolis, are perfect examples of how SEZs have driven growth. FDI has brought in not just money, but also advanced technology, management expertise, and access to global markets. Multinational corporations like Apple, Microsoft, and Tesla, which have set up operations in China, have spurred local industries, created jobs, and encouraged the transfer of technology and knowledge. This influx of FDI has been a major driver of China's rapid industrialization and modernization. State-owned enterprises have been another key part of China's investment strategy. While many countries have moved away from state ownership, China has maintained and even strengthened its SOEs, especially in crucial sectors like energy, telecommunications, and transportation. These enterprises have received substantial financial support and policy backing from the government, enabling them to tackle large-scale projects that might be too risky or expensive for private firms. For instance, SOEs have been essential in building China's high-speed rail network and expanding its energy infrastructure. The government's strategic control over these enterprises has allowed for coordinated efforts in industrial development and technological advancement, ensuring that these key sectors align with national economic goals. Market liberalization was crucial for the growth of developing nations, including China and India. However, China's successful development strategy was built on 2 main foundations: investing in its people and promoting gender equality, areas where India has fallen behind. even after becoming more market-oriented. China made significant investments in its people, surpassing India in improving education and health standards necessary for a globally competitive workforce. According to the World Bank's 2020 Human Capital Index, India scored 0.49, lower than countries like Nepal and Kenya despite being wealthier. China scored 0.65, comparable to much richer nations like Chile and Slovakia. While China's female labor force participation rate has decreased to about 62% from around 80% in 1990, India's rate has dropped from 32% to around 25% over the same period. China is also well prepared for future opportunities. 7 Chinese universities are ranked among the world's top 100, with Tsinghua and Peking in the top 20. Chinese scientists have made significant advances in fields like chemistry, engineering, and material science and are poised to lead in artificial intelligence. As shown in the figure, Chinese researchers both in academia and industry are rapidly producing high-quality patents. Overall, superior human capital and greater gender equality have contributed significantly to China's higher total factor productivity growth. Technology. Once a country has good infrastructure and thriving human capital, it can then make significant technological progress. In the past few decades, China has been learning from the rest of the world about technological innovation. When a company wants to enter the Chinese market, the Chinese government can compel the firm to share its technology with Chinese companies. One way to do that is by requiring foreign companies that want to operate in China to form joint ventures with local companies. For instance, the transfer of high-speed rail technology to China has been pivotal for its infrastructure development strategy. Japan's Shinkansen technology, renowned for its safety and efficiency since the 1960s, was adapted through partnerships with Chinese companies like CRRC Corporation. Similarly, German firms, including Siemens, provided essential components like train control systems and signaling equipment, enabling China to rapidly expand its world-leading high-speed rail network. Another example is in the automotive industry, where foreign companies like Volkswagen joint ventured with local Chinese companies such as SAIC Motor Corporation. As a result, Chinese companies have been able to manufacture vehicles that not only meet stringent global standards, but also compete effectively in the international automotive market. Additionally, government support for research and development and the rise of influential tech giants have positioned China as a leader in technological innovation. Conclusion: these 3 core reasons underscore why China has achieved rapid development. While other countries have also benefited from similar economic drivers, the scale and efficiency of China's government implementation are unmatched.